What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another podcast episode of IFTV.
Why do you have no energy?
Why do I have no energy? It's been a long day, man.
Do you care to explain?
It was snowing. It was raining. A lot of cleaning up. It's not warm either.
Michael will tell you the truth if you stick on this podcast for a little bit more. Guys, welcome to IFTV. Again, you got Michael and I. They actually liked it. I thought nobody was going to like the podcast with just you and I.
Really?
I saw some nice comments.
Any bad ones?
Yeah, I just blurred those out of my mind.
It was me that was making
I was like, where is Antonio? We want Antonio. It was probably him. He figured out how to use
exactly
YouTube. He still thinks that we post our podcast on MySpace and stuff. What a weekend we had. We're just finishing off of Monday's matches where Spezia beat AC Milan without controversy, of course, clearly. In madness, just madness in the Serie A. It is impossible to predict what's going to happen. So much so that I'd say that you have to be crazy if you made any bets this weekend on those teams.
I said you have to be insane.
I'm looking at you, Michael. How was your betting this weekend?
Nothing that I remember in the future.
It's
something to forget about, that's for sure.
Small losses?
Well, I'll just say I'm sleeping in the studio for a couple of weeks.
That's not great. Where do you want to start? I'll let you choose.
Not the Milan game.
You don't want to start with the Milan game?
No,
is that the one that screwed you up?
That screwed me up big time.
So you were like a true... You were definitely upset with the referee.
Oh, dude, I was more mad than Pioli.
That's great. Let's start there. Let's get it out of the way. You know, it's like kind of you got to talk about your problems, talk about what you're mad about, to let it out and let it out into the air.
The ref's my problem.
The ref's your problem. Yeah. Milan lost 2-1 to Spezia. It was ridiculous because Theo Hernandez missed a penalty kick, by the way, in the beginning of the match. Milan were up 1-0. You saw Spezia that they were, not really doing much. I don't remember them really creating any opportunities or any occasions. Then they scored this 1-1, which was like a fluke goal.
Agudelo came out of nowhere. This guy was marked by no one, and he tapped it in. It was insane. I was like, whoa, okay. I was like, Milan's going to come back surely now, right? I thought, dude, they missed so many chances.
They did miss a lot of chances. Provedel, he played like a prime
Buffon, dude.
You know what? I'm not gonna say that I've never seen this before. I've watched a couple Spezia matches, and I don't remember which game exactly he played unbelievable, but I remember watching him. I was like, who is this guy?
I probably bet on that game.
He's one of those guys that he just turns up in the big matches and in the big moments. It's not just against Milan, because I really remember him doing that against another team. Have to check back in the highlights to exactly remember. But long story short, the big controversy, which was a clear mistake. So there's this situation where Milan are on the attack. The ball gets sent through to Junior Messias. As he's about to kick the ball, basically, the referee blows a whistle to call the foul on top of the box instead of allowing the play
to continue.
Clear advantage, no offsides. There's nothing from the referee. No reason that he ever needed to do that.
Whistle.
On top of that, Messias actually took the shot and scored.
It was a beautiful goal.
It was a great goal. Goal should have clearly stopped.
Stood.
How many times? You know what bothers me about this? What bothers me is that sometimes there's offsides calls that they don't make the call for like 5 minutes. I swear.
Yeah.
They allow it to go on just in case. But then this guy whistle.
He didn't give a half a second extra. I was like,
that I don't get.
You got to give an extra 2 seconds. What to make it's the last minutes of the games. And you played advantage here. The ball was clearly going to a Milan player. You let it play, and that would have changed a game. That would have been 3 points right there to Milan. Because let's be honest, that would have been the deciding game. And Spezia would not even that, but Spezia wouldn't have scored that goal.
Yeah, then the 2-1. So I spoke to Christina Uncle, who's a professional referee. Yeah. She tweeted it out, but I spoke to her privately just to understand. And she sticks up for the rightfully so. She always sticks up for the referee. She always gives them the benefit of the doubt. She said, we interrupt this podcast because we have a word from our premium sponsors of IFTV. The reason why we can do this for such a long time, they're sponsoring for the entire year, the entire season. Paramount Plus is your home to watch Serie A in the United States. You get Champions League, Europa League, everything.
Conference League, Coppa Italia.
What makes me very happy, Mike, we mentioned this before, we have pre-match, halftime, and post-match coverage that is constantly on. We've got me, we've got Mike Grella, Bonetti, Dre Cordero, Papi, sometimes even Bobo Vieri, who was on live from the San Siro. We even had somebody from Venice who was on a boat traveling, showing us and documenting the beauty of Italy. Because If there's one thing I know, is that Italy is the most beautiful country in the world. It seems like Paramount Plus agrees because they want to show that. They want to broadcast that. Guys, the link in the top of our description.
Check it out, guys.
Is ParamountPlus.com/IFTV. I think you still get a free month if you go right now. Don't even wait till tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe. I think my dad told me that if you subscribe for 12 months,
it's
you
under
get it even cheaper.
Yeah, under $5. Dude, this is probably the best investment I made for calcio because there's just so many competitions that you can get. Getting Paramount quenches my thirst of calcio. How you not gonna watch the European games? You're not gonna. How you not gonna watch Serie A? How you not gonna watch a Supercoppa, the incredible Supercoppa Italiana, the Coppa Italia that was just been going on the past few days.
I have 2 accounts.
But Marco, it's not just even if you like culture, but you also like shows. You like movies. They have amazing movies, new shows. They have a lot of stuff going on, and of course, 2022 is gonna be an even bigger year for Paramount. They're doing a lot more stuff, and they're just so ingrained. I think in this culture, and it's only gonna get better from here.
The one theme that we have during this entire podcast, as we were mentioning before, is that don't judge where we are right now, right? We said the coaches, like, they need time. Slowly but surely, things with Paramount, the coverage is going to get bigger. It's going to get better. 2022, the ideas and the things that they want to do going to Serie A and building around the coverage is even bigger and better. So look at the roots. They're healthy. They're thriving, and I think that
growing.
We're gonna get to a really awesome place. But it's all thanks to Paramount Plus. We appreciate them for sponsoring IFTV, guys. If you enjoy our show, it's all thanks to them. It's thanks to them that we're able to put this on. So help support them. Link in the top of our description. Go get it.
And back to the podcast.
It was hard for her to watch. She said you could tell. She said this is a moment that happens to a lot of referees. Mm-hmm. You just hope that it happens when they're in a lower division. She even gave me an example of when it happened to her when she was much younger and not in an important league. And she explained to me that you could tell on the referee's face right away that he knew he made a mistake when they zoomed into him. And then even when he was walking off, you could tell that he did. It's an unfortunate situation. And it just sucks because then you think about how important points are in this league more than ever, but also for a team like Milan that are fighting to be
the Scudetto.
Yes, exactly. Huge opportunity.
They would have been psychologically. They would have been technically they would have been more points ahead of Inter, but of course Inter had the game in hand. But psychologically, that's a huge boost.
The one other thing I do want to say, this has happened before. This is not the first time. This is AC Milan, and obviously it's highlighted a lot more because when it happens to Milan, that's it's just the reality. And also because they lost the match, I think is why you're talked about a lot.
Yep.
Coppa Italia this weekend, I was watching Fiorentina, the same situation where they have this ball that's sent through. They're like 3v1. Obviously, they didn't score the goal, but they had a great opportunity to do so. The referee blows the window, sends Fabian Ruiz off. And then with 50 seconds to go, Petagna ties it, and Fiorentina have to go to 120 minutes. Now, it's not talked about as much because then Fiorentina win the match 5-2. So I think that's one of the reasons. And there's multiple other examples. I think just we need to do better officiating wise. And yeah, it sucks.
And no, it does suck to see. And of course, like you said, at the end of the Scudetto race, you're going to be counting the points left and right. You drop some here, you drop some here.
This is not the one to drop.
So it does, at the end of the day, it really does. At the end of the season, it's going to matter. Mm-hmm. This could be Champions League. This could be Scudetto. There's going to be so many things. It's crazy.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Why can't they No,
you can't.
Why can't you override it? You can override the other.
Your bet is done.
No. I'm saying not after the game, but I'm saying, okay, you made the mistake. Go check VAR and be like, okay, and they give it.
So I tweeted out.
You know what I'm saying?
I tweeted out the other day that when Tomori, when they announced his knee injury, I said, has there been any team that's been more unlucky than Milan? And I just keep going back to that fact. And I know people will probably count up examples of their teams getting calls against them, right?
Yeah, of course.
But it just feels like this for Milan. And also I would throw Napoli in that as well, as they've had so many cases and injuries. But anyway, it is what it is. They lose the match, and Spezia beat Milan, beat Napoli the other day too. In their last 4 games, they beat Napoli and Milan. And then I think they lost to Verona or something.
Spezia have a nice little gap between relegation now. They got some good breathing space, so this is going to be huge for them. Probably Cagliari, Genoa were probably pissed that they got this win too. They're probably mad on the same bubble with Milan because they're separating themselves from the bottom 3.
Let's talk about Atalanta-Inter, which was the match of the weekend, which was probably predicted by most of us. 2 really exciting teams, attacking teams. 0-0. But it was an exciting 0-0 draw.
Who would have expected
like
that?
It wasn't a boring. That means you lost your bet on this one too. Just by the way that you just said that, I don't even know.
I didn't expect it.
0-0, which for sure nobody would have expected it. We were all saying high scoring match because they're first and second in most goals.
At least 3.5
But it was
goals.
exciting. But it was exciting game. Like it was back and forth. Both teams pushing for it. Atalanta could not finish. I mean, I was screaming when Pessina had that opportunity. Muriel had an opportunity. Handanovic actually came up really big. And it felt like towards the tail end of the match, Inter was kind of just happy with the draw. Like I didn't see them going forward as much as they were. And Sanchez, while yes, Sanchez is good from the bench, he wasn't really able to break past the Atalanta defense. And I think Lautaro was needed to start if he was going to run in behind the defense. They're coming off 120 minutes.
Yeah.
So they were probably getting tired towards the end.
No, it was definitely a strange run. Also because, first of all, Inter had their full squad. On the other side, Atalanta were kind of depleted. They had key players out.
Zapata was not there.
Ilicic was out. Malinovsky was out. So a lot of key players out. And playing against the Inter side, who we've seen domination from them, we've been saying this season. But Atalanta, considering all the problems that they had and stuff like that, considering their horrible home record,
3-3 previously.
They held their own at home, and to be honest, they probably could have took the win if it wasn't for Handanovic that stuck up a huge captain's performance.
I think
but
Pessina
should have scored that, bro.
You have to lift the ball.
Pessina should have scored that. I'm sorry. Okay, Handanovic, I don't want to take any credit, but Pessina should have scored
100%.
that.
You're right.
And Dzeko had a horrible game. He couldn't pass. He couldn't get the shot on target. There's both pros and cons.
The ball that came from Dumfries to Dzeko. I mean,
oh my God! At least on target. At least on target. Come on, goals.
That was not good for them. But I felt like a lot of times they were just sending balls in. They were holding on to possession, and there was not too much.
I don't think both of them weren't mad that it was a draw. I think it was they were kind of happy to come away with a point.
Both tired.
Both good teams. It's not like it's not horrible if you get a draw against that.
I saw a stat that was before this game. Atalanta if all the matches were played at home, Atalanta would be in 12th place in the season. If they were away, they would be in second, and Inter would be in third. So that's why I was kind of feeling like it was going to be Inter's match. But credit to Atalanta. I think that when they put them in the most difficulty, when Atalanta could have won the game, is when they were pressing Inter. Yeah. And this is the theme that I'm feeling. It's like teams that press Inter, when Juventus did it for 25 minutes,
it troubles them.
That is when you hurt them the most.
Yeah.
The problem is, it is extremely hard to keep that pace up for 90 minutes. And then when Lautaro's playing, if they break that line, if they could send that long ball, and your defense is not that good or not that quick, that's when you could get killed.
For sure.
So that's the only problem. Like, there's pros and cons to it. I think, though, if you're a smaller team and you're trying to get Inter, if you just sit back and let them build up, you're going to lose.
So try something new.
Most of the time, you're going to lose. You might as well lose on your sword, Go down on your sword.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel about Inter. And I think we mushed them too. We mushed them because we talked so highly about Bastoni, and then Bastoni. It was like the worst game Bastoni.
Bastoni had a horrible game.
We're just gonna stop speaking.
I take it back. I wouldn't even call him up at this point. I'm kidding. I'm obviously kidding, but he had a bad game.
We definitely scored him up. We posted the clip in the morning.
Also,
talking about how amazing he was.
Also, they had to bring in the Vrij because the defense was shaky at many points. There was lapses of concentration, and the man marking wasn't good. So it was difficult for sure.
One thing I'll say though, Brozovic is truly unbelievable.
He's so good.
I think the man needs to be checked if he has eyes behind his head. There was one play where he completely had two guys on him, maybe three,
and he backheeled
them. No, he backheeled it. He's facing that way, and he backheels the ball, and it goes perfectly.
I've always liked Brozovic. He does all that underrated work that
Barella gave a beautiful cross into Dumfries, and then
not even that. Barella was he had extra batteries on, and he was very physical,
really
very physical,
really
more physical than usual. So I was impressed.
But Brozovic, the only reason he earned his renewal, he just got his renewal. So I was like, all right, my man was playing up.
Good.
So
I got a new car and everything.
Handanovic too, we gave credit. We already said, but he's very hated. He's a goalkeeper that you check online and you see that he's divisive. Whether you like him, whether you don't. A lot of times it's easy to criticize when he does bad, but you have to also give him credit when he does well, because he did really well. Some of the shots were at him, but some of them were not.
He probably DM'd Onana, yo, you ain't coming here easy, bro. I'm still number one.
Exactly.
So we'll see.
But yeah, not too much else. Talk about Juventus. Win against Udinese. There's one thing there's one main thing to talk about.
I mean, the thing that we're always thinking.
What did you make of it?
Of the celebration or of not the celebration?
Scores a goal. Dybala scores a goal. Udinese is the team he scores the most goals against. He's been amazing as of late. I think it's 4 goals in his last 6 matches. Yeah. He doesn't celebrate, and he looks up to the stands. He says he's looking for a friend.
I mean, I usually like drama and calcio and stuff, but I feel like people were like reaching for something more than this.
What did you make of the situation? Was he disrespectful?
No, come on, dude. Disrespectful because he didn't celebrate?
Because he looked towards the...
No, I don't think so at all. People were saying, oh, he's looking at net. He wants the con. I was like, bro, he just didn't celebrate. He looked at the sands. You don't even know. Stop.
Well, he probably was. No. Well,
maybe,
listen.
But still. I just feel like people were stretching too much to like assume things.
But let's just assume. Let's take the assumption that he was looking at the stands.
Okay.
Did he do something wrong?
What's wrong with that? He scored a goal for his team, and he looked in the what did he say? Did he curse? Did he do anything? Was he disrespectful? No,
I'm with you.
Fine.
I'm with you. I know people will say like
a lot of people kept going
he
crazy
needs to respect
off
the
it.
shirt. It's obviously about the contract issues.
On what? Because he looked at the stands.
I'm explaining what people are saying that's his way of protesting.
I stopped reading on that because it annoyed me. I was like, people are looking for something that's not there.
What bothers me is this. It's 2 things, right? Let's just take the assumption that he was looking at there and he was doing it because of the contract issues, which if you guys want to know the contract issues, Fabrizio Romano, we have Fabrizio on CBS, and he said that Dybala was offered the contract in October. Now, February, Juventus are trying to change the offer. They're trying to change the already agreed upon contract. Fabrizio says Dybala loves Juventus. He would love to stay Juventus, but this is not something that they appreciate, obviously. Now, Dybala, in my opinion, has every single right to be pissed off. If you're promised something in October and you're told, yeah, we're going to sign it, put yourself in the position if you're at your own job and your boss says, you're going to get this, yeah, we're signing it, you're all good, you get hyped, you're like, perfect, boom, and then this is and then that's what they do to you. Now, there are so many cases in football with players who will go to the media and who will leak news, who will say stuff bad-mouthing their bosses. For me personally, I'm usually on the player side, even on that. I'm like, you know what? A player, even if he comes out and says bad stuff about the management, I understand his point of view. Dybala didn't even do that. He just looked. He looked up.
What was he supposed to do? Close his eyes? He didn't want to celebrate? What do you want him to do?
I know I don't like that we're both agreeing on this, because then there's going to be the Juve fans in the comments that are mad at us and saying that, we're taking Dybala's side and not the club side. We try to see it on the objectively.
Bro, you guys are taking it too seriously. You guys are taking it way too seriously. You guys
should Juventus offer him a renewal, or is Dybala not worth building on a project anymore?
See, I mean, we're talking about this on the stream. Ludo was against it.
I want to know your opinion.
Peter was on the fence. He was like, who's gonna get? I kind of saw both their sides, man.
Tell me.
I like Dybala. Let me be honest with you. I like Dybala. I like Dybala as a player, but when he's playing, man, so and I can't guarantee if he's gonna give me 25 goals,
like
30,
if you're Nedved,
25 games a season.
If you're Nedved, would you invest $8 million plus $2 million in bonuses in Paulo Dybala?
So much money.
Would you?
That's so. The thing is, the only case with that is, do I have another replacement? If I don't have another good replacement, I'm not gonna get anyone. I'm sorry, because there's no one other suitable. But then you're also playing a few other bozos on the team that went there that are... One got the worst transfer of the season, Ramsey. That's how much he's getting paid.
$7.5 million.
Dude, come on.
Who's the best player in Juventus?
The best player when everyone healthy?
Yeah.
Dybala would be up there. I don't know what the best one. I like Chiellini a lot, but when he's 100%, Chiellini's probably my favorite player for Juventus.
In the attack, okay, no, in anything, okay. Then what's the ranking? Where's Dybala? Is Dybala top 3?
If everyone's healthy,
but is he paid? But is he paid like he's the top 3?
No, but he doesn't have appearances like he's top 3 either. You got to see that point also.
But I also think it's a cost perspective. Juve have no money. Good luck finding somebody of world-class talent like Paulo Dybala. That you're gonna have to pay a transfer fee, and you're gonna have to pay. You want a world-class player, you're gonna have to pay $8 million a year. something around there.
That's true.
I know he hasn't played that much. He's had physical problems. I'm totally with it. I get it. But I still bet on the kid. I love him. I love him personally.
But are you saying emotionally though? But you got to do it.
Football
on
is about emotions.
I know
it is a business,
on
but
the
it's
business side
also
too.
from a business move. But it's also stupid. Give him the money, and then maybe you'll sell him. But then you could also sell him. Now you're gonna get him for zero. You're gonna get $0 in the transfer fee. It's kind of like the Milan situation, why I don't get
Maldini style, baby.
But no, like what I'm saying is like sign the guy, give him what he wants, and then sell him.
Yeah, I know, to get something out of
it.
it.
And Dybala's not the type that he's pushing to leave. He wants to stay.
I get that.
Sign the contract.
Ludo said no to Dybala. He said because he only gives you 15 games a season. I was like, okay, not 15, but it's like, I agree with him on the side. Like, you don't know how many games he's gonna play a season. I think we can all agree on that.
I agree with that.
So that's the thing that's pushing me, like holding me back. It's like, do I want to do it? And that's why they get paid the big bucks, the management, so they can make this decision. So we'll see
about that. What other game we're gonna go to? Roma beat Cagliari 1-0. Sergio Oliveira, what a debut! He got the penalty and then converted it. He's 17 of his last 19. He scored.
Right, still has jet lag, but he still managed to do it. Milan Niall starting, Oliveira starting. Mourinho really wants some changes in the squad.
He's right too.
He's doing this immediately. But Cagliari at the end, they almost equalized.
Joao Pedro.
It was Rui Patricio saves it, and it goes off the crossbar. It was like the 88th minute. I was like, whoa.
It was great intelligence from Joao Pedro to make the run to the first post. The thing that I would say is like, I read all the quotes on Mourinho from last week, right? Mm-hmm. Where the last match was they were 3-1 up against Juventus. They blew the lead, right? And I saw the quotes and I was like, wow, it seems like a Mourinho quote. And then what I did is I went and I watched the video. I watched his full press conference. And honestly, when I listened to how he said it in the context, I was like, it feels so misquoted. Like the context of how he said it felt so different to me than when I was just reading it, and I just see on Twitter everyone mad. Oh, look at Mourinho complaining again.
Yeah, the context wasn't the same.
Number one, the basic thing what he was trying to get across was at 3-1, my players were in a good position. Juventus scored 3-2 with Locatelli, and my team crumbled. He said that's where we lost it. He said a mentally strong team.
He's right.
A mentally strong team at 3-2 says no problem. Says we're up. By a goal, we're fine, we're in control, we've been playing well for 70 minutes, and they see out the rest of the game for the next 15, 20 minutes. I do not have that in the squad. Did he say, and he said, there are players in the team that mentally are not there, and we need to bring in guys, we need to fix the mentality.
Which is true.
Now, number one, it's true. Number two, did he say, I'm leaving, I'm not going to work? No, he's saying we need to put more work in. I understood when I went to Roma, this was going to be a lot of work, and we have 3 years to put the work in. What did he... Maybe you're mad because you're looking for an objective, a reason to get pissed at Mourinho, but this, for me, it seems so extreme. Roma needs work. It's the truth of it. And I like Oliveira because I think he'll bring a different attitude to the team.
Different dynamic, too.
I just don't get the overhate for Jose Mourinho.
Dude, it's just when people think of Mourinho, they automatically associate him with sarcasm, with complaining, with throwing everyone else under the bus. So automatically, that's always going to be taken out of context, and that's just how how he's portrayed by the media, almost like the bad guy.
The only argument I could see about Mourinho is that he's paid a very high salary for the same results, and you could say, why not get a different coach and then invest a little bit more?
But it's also only 6 months.
Yes, I agree with you, and I think that if you look objectively, this Roma side is nowhere near not nowhere near. I'm sorry. They would not get into the top four. I don't think with any coach in the world is going to make them in 1 year get into the top four.
But I do see them with a lot of quality players, with the right coach, with the right project.
Who do you like specifically?
What do you mean? Oh, in the team?
Yeah.
I think Tammy Abraham's fantastic. I think Mkhitaryan has been great ever since he played. I think Pellegrini, when healthy, he's incredible. Assists, goals, forget about it. The midfield, Veretout is very good. We see Oliveira right now. Cristante can also come off the bench.
Has his lapses.
He does have these lapses. More in the beginning, he fell off a little bit from the more in the beginning of the season. But he still has some registas he can switch around with Mourinho. Their defense a little back and forth for me. Rui Patricio, a very good keeper. Smalling is probably the leader on that defense when he plays good. Then they can mess around with Ibanez, Kumbula. So there's a lot of potential. I just feel like They got to build that leadership. They got to build that strong locker room brotherhood, like a team like Milan and Inter have done, and go forward from there. Because at the end of the day, Milan are great. I think their number one strength is their unity. Yeah. And I feel like Roma and Mourinho can learn something. And Mourinho's, I don't know if he does it, if he tells his players, listen, I don't mean anything what I mean by the media. He's got to stop saying these harsh things about his players, because I feel like it does affect them, even though he says, I don't mean them or whatever. If he tells them behind closed doors, doesn't mean them. Because that you hear that as a player, like, oh, I'm not good enough. And I can't... It's not gonna affect everyone, but it's gonna seep in. I think.
I think for some players that'll motivate the shit out of them. Like they will hear that and they're gonna be like, you know what? You don't believe in me? I'm gonna run even more.
I forgot Zaniolo, by the way.
There are players that it'll crumble and it'll pull away from them. Yeah. And I think Mourinho kind of takes both of those as positives. He says, if it hurts you, then you're not a player for me. And if it motivates you,
it weeds out the players, right? He weeds out the players.
That's just my perspective.
Maybe. That's a good observation.
What else do you want to talk about? I know Napoli 1-2-0. Chucky scored.
My boy almost had a hat. He had a lot of chances today. Napoli back to winning ways after that.
They needed this win, man.
Coppa Italia exit from Fiorentina.
I feel like there's been a lot of negativity around them, especially with like Insigne leaving
and the media.
Mertens like probably going, and like it was good. It was kind of like symbolic. I hit my espresso. I didn't realize. It's kind of symbolic that Lozano scored. Like it's kind of like, all right, guys, don't worry about it. Like I'm gonna be here. I could be the next guy. Do you think Lozano can be that replacement for Insigne? Quality wise, not as obviously Insigne is from Napoli. He's got the heart of Naples. I mean, from a quality perspective. You're not feeling
Lozano, he's a burst of energy, but other than that, dude, I see him do some stupid stuff, and like, bro, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. I want to believe he can, but I don't know.
I have something else that you'll probably want to believe in, but I don't know if you do, or maybe you already put a bet on this. Jeff Bezos to buy Napoli.
I'd love that. I think that'd be great. Dude, no one would compete with it. He won the triplete every season.
Yo, Jeff Bezos bought Napoli. That would be unbelievable.
Oh, he'd win that. Oh my god.
That would be so sick. Is he like the richest person in the world? One of the richest people? He's got to be.
He's one of. He's not
the richest?
No, I think he's one of for sure. No? I think it keeps going up and down.
Google
it's between me, Bezos, and
you with all your betting skills, I'm sure. That's how you got up there. There was Google it real quick. I'll say the report. So there's a report from this journalist. I don't know who he is, and obviously, guys, we didn't post about it because we don't want to get Napoli fans excited or anything. But he says that Jeff Bezos wants to buy Napoli. Obviously, we don't believe it. You have to wait for a real reliable source to say it. The one thing I will say, we got some insider information.
The richest in 2021.
Was he number one?
That's what it says.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, so he's the richest person in the world.
For the fourth year running. Oh my god.
He's fine.
No trouble paying Insigne salary. That's for sure. He left too soon.
You know how quickly he would earn the respect of the fans if he's just like, you know what? I'm gonna double your salary.
Oh my god.
That would be sick. But what I was gonna say is we know for sure that somebody in a top position at Amazon is a Napoli fan. We know that for sure. We can't say the role. We can't say anything. Confidentiality, but we know somebody is. But I don't believe that this rumor is true.
I would
love to.
I wanna believe.
Would you bet on this?
Probably not.
Well, actually, now I'm starting to believe.
I wasted all my money, and second, I don't think it is too realistic. But I think
that would be sick.
It's like one of those.
That
dream
would be
things.
sick. Can you imagine? Everyone will be talking about Napoli.
It's like the Messi to the Inter one. It's like it's hard to believe, but you want it to happen.
The one thing I'll say about that too, like on a bigger picture, if we take like a deeper dive into this, is like I respect De Laurentiis. I respect everything he did from taking the club from Serie A to where they are now.
Incredible.
I think that. Unbelievable job. And you look at some of the talents that have come through Napoli, Cavani, Higuain, Hamsik, unbelievable players who also have gone on to Jorginho, who have gone on to create history elsewhere. But
it's time, Abdul. Hand it over to Jeffrey. We getting stupid rich right now.
What would Jeffrey be in Italian?
What would he what?
What would he be? What would his name be in Italian? You love saying this. Give me a name.
Giancarlo. I don't know. I never. No, Gianfranco.
That was a good ring to it. But so for De Laurentiis, the thing I would say is like he did really good from taking the club to where they are. But I think if we want to see a Napoli that will go on to win the Scudetto again, that will go on to compete in Champions League, that would want to create a real organization and structure and be a professional corporate club, it would need a guy, a new owner that has that vision. I'm not saying that Napoli fans want it to happen. Because there's a lot of Napoli fans, I bet you, that want them to stay true to their roots and are okay with where they are.
I want overnight shipping for this transfer to happen ASAP.
That's funny.
Yo, that would be incredible.
What else we got to talk about? Scamacca? You want to talk about Scamacca?
Scamacca's a beast. He got another goal. He got another
3
goal.
in his last 2.
Verona lost, actually. But
no, Sassuolo lost. Verona won.
Oh, I said the opposite?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, I want Sassuolo to win. Yeah,
you don't even know who won the game.
Sassuolo
Is Scamacca the next number 9?
Man, yes, and I scouted him.
Is he worth 45 million?
He's good. If 45 is a little steep.
If you're running a club, right? Jeff Bezos says come in charge. Yeah. No, not Napoli. If you're running a club, a Juventus, are you spending 45 million on
What's
Scamacca?
45 million at Jeff Bezos? He spends that on lunch.
That's a big lunch. But you believe in Scamacca for real?
It's only 6 months. From the 6 months, you can never project how it's
yes
gonna go.
Yes or no, Mike? I'd stop sitting on the fence.
If I had a pick, I'd say yes. Just because the biggest thing I see from him is his mentality. He's not scared when he's in front of the net. Instead of whimpering around, he wants the ball. He's running. He wants a responsibility. When he wants the ball to his foot, he's hungry for it, and I don't know. He has that thug look, and that I feel like you need. That scary. No, that
you
scary
need to have
striker.
To be great.
No, but that's
like from all the
He's
greats
got that like don't mess with me. You know what I'm saying? That scary striker vibe. So I feel like just because of the mentality, not even the goals, his spectacular goals, his positioning, all that good stuff. Strong, holds up the ball. He's pretty complete. But his mentality, I think that's the most valuable thing. And, judging based off 6 months, everyone's going to clip this 2 years from now. He's going to be playing in Serie A or something. But I think his mentality is the thing that won me over.
Interesting. Let's wrap it up. I want a couple more things. Lazio won 3-0 against Salernitana. Immobile, 2 goals. Milinkovic, best assist of the Campionato. And what I love even more than that was that Luis Alberto sent him that ball. And then he did a ditacco, a backheel flick to Ciro Immobile.
Pass to Immobile.
That it was symbolic for me just because I know Sarri's had this whole problem with not wanting to play Luis Alberto and Milinkovic-Savic. Yeah. For me, madness if you don't play those guys together. That is the beauty of football. Like, I love football. I don't care about the team that you support. I don't care about where your allegiances lie. At one point, cut all of that BS out. Mm-hmm. You have to be a lover of the game.
Exactly.
When you watch players like that play, it's gorgeous. Like, they read the play way before anyone else. It is simply phenomenal.
How you a Juve fan? Watching Allegri's football. If you have to introduce me to calcio and you show me Allegri's football, I never watch a sport again. Let me tell you, I'll never watch that sport. I'll be like,
but you can tell I fell in love because Del Piero.
Oh, but jeez.
It's like, I'm not gonna use some example.
You're a prisoner now of this team because of Allegri.
Anyway, also about Lazio, but
yeah,
Savic. He says that is he the best midfielder in Serie A?
One of. I don't know. Someone's going to pop on my head and be like, damn, that guy's good. He's definitely top tier for me. I don't want to say on the
top. Immobile or Vlahovic?
Man, this is a tough one. Bro, I'm going to say Vlahovic is. It is a tough one, bro. I'll say Vlahovic. And speaking of Vlahovic, plays with Fiorentina smacked up Genoa. Shevchenko was laughing from his couch watching this match. He was dying of laughter. He was like, you sacked me. Look at this team, bro. Look at this team, bro. 6 goals. I didn't even lose 6 goals by 6 goals. But, yo, oh my God. Genoa didn't even move on. Dude.
That's hilarious.
Dude, it was, first of all, Biragi's free kicks. Oh my god.
He only scores bangers.
That was nasty. That was nasty. I mean, Vlahovic missed a penalty, but he ended up scoring a beautiful.
He doesn't need penalties.
A beautiful chip afterward, balling, and dude, 6-0. That was extremely embarrassing. Genoa. Sirigu messed up. He was in Torino for so long, conceding goals by relegation. He won in January, got screwed. Torino's playing good, dude. He has an unfortunate last few years of his career because he should have listened. Should have stayed and been with Juric right now.
I'm liking this energy from Mike right now. You're fired up.
Yeah, because I'm thinking of my next bet.
What else are you fired up about? Anything else?
What else am I fired up
Anything
about? I don't know. Let me look through our Instagram. If you're not following us on Instagram, we got some dope stuff over there. I mean, we're talking about midfielders. Senzi's out. He's going to Sampdoria, by the way. I'm just saying, Senzi, I've always liked you, but you gotta get consistent minutes. Go to Sampdoria, ball over there, and then go back to Inter and get your rotational minutes over there.
I only want you to say something if you're super fired up, like you were about that Shevchenko. If not, we end. Think that's it?
I think that's it.
Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
And Jeffrey, if you're watching,
I'm sure you're watching. I'm sure he came to like 30 minutes of this podcast just to hear Michael Terrace tell him that he should make this investment into Napoli. Guys, if you enjoyed, make sure you like this video, subscribe if you are new. I know some of you are happy, mad. Antonio's not here. Gaetano, Peter. Personally, I'm kind of happy. I kind of like it. Like it's nice.
I feel like I don't have to scream and get a migraine during the headache and tell Antonio to mute his phone and him curse me out. But guys, top of the description, Paramount Plus. Make sure to check it out. Make sure to use our link. You get 7 days free. And calcio for life.
Never stops. Calcio for life. Gotta get that tattoo. Guys, as always, we'll talk to you soon. Ciao ragazzi.
See you guys.